everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Today we are going to talk about CSS, namely CSS grids. So let's get started. The idea of CSS grid is that you can use CSS to make your list page or another page, but we're working with the list page, look completely different. So you're all familiar with our forums, right? Let me show you real quick how it's. If you ever accessed our forums from a mobile device, you can see that it looks different mobile device, right? Let me say look. It's getting smaller. Yep, here it is. First of all, we are removing unnecessary columns because space is precious on the mobile screen. And then we making the icon occupy the whole row height-wise, and then we position for other fields in the first row and the second row. So we will try to do this basically the same in our customers table. Okay, by default, it's just a regular grid, even in mobile mode. Because I turned off responsive grid, we're going to be working with the table. So this is list page, responsive grid option is turned off. And there is a bunch of CSS that does the job. It's not very complicated once you understand the idea, but this is what we're going to talk about. So this, what I'm going to show you is based on the article that we already have. I will put the link into webinar notes, which we run CSS grids, I guess. And the main idea of CSS grids is that it shows the same forums page. And take a look at this. This is how CSS grids work. Every corner and intersection is numbered, starting with 1. So we have 2 rows and 3 columns. And we can tell each field which space it needs to occupy. And we can reposition it any way we want. So this is our CSS code that we're going to use in this article. Let's go to the style screen, modify CSS. Okay, we can remove our label code and we are adding our CSS code. First of all, something that is something that you need to know. Let's talk about media queries in CSS. CSS allows you to specify CSS code that will only apply to certain media, like only to screen when you show something on the screen or only when you print something. How can be useful? The idea is that, for instance, you want users to print the view page. And when they print it, you don't really need to print certain elements like maybe buttons or navigation. You just want to print the information. So you can add CSS code that will only apply to the printer page. When the record is printed, we will do that a little bit later. And you can remove elements that you don't need. But they will stay, that page is shown on the screen, but will disappear once we try to print it. And the second important thing about media queries is that you can specify on which screens it will be seen. So in our code here, we say that our CSS, the whole CSS that goes below in curly braces from here to here, it will be only applied if our screen size is 767 pixels or less. So we don't want to affect the regular grid. We're only doing it with smaller screens, because on a big screen, there is enough space to show data the way it is. On a smaller screen, we need to rearrange it a little bit. So let's build it. And see how it looks now. Okay, on a big screen, it looks the same. And on a smaller screen, you can see that once our screen size is smaller than 767 pixels, it will do something different. I will show, I have added more CSS to do what it does. Let me just show you step by step how it works. Let's take a look at this. Our first column is occupied with customer ID. Then we have company name, contact name, country, and address. This is how we want to format it. Okay, let me turn the edit page functionality off because we don't need it, because it doesn't look very good. Here, build it again. Yeah, it looks a little better. We need to remove the checkbox. Anyway, let's go to our CSS and see how do we achieve this. So first of all, customer ID, it occupies first column, both top row and bottom row. Style, modify CSS. Okay, this is our customer ID. Okay, let me probably copy it to a bigger, let me show you on a bigger screen. Okay, I hope you can see it. So first of all, how did we figure out that selector? We are looking for TD, which is a part of the table cell that has R grid row class, and data field attribute is customer ID. Let me show you how did we come up with this selector. Okay, we go back here. Let's go to the bigger screen. Right click on our customer ID. And we can see here that this is our TD element, and data field attribute is customer ID. This is how we know it is. And if we start reducing the size, yep, it switches text to vertical and makes it occupy the whole first cell, both second and first row. And we can see in our that this CSS is coming from our custom CSS file. And this is our CSS. We just entered it for this specific column. It is. So let's take a look. We wanted to occupy first cell. So starting with column 1, ending with column 2. Rows, starting with row 1 and ending up at point number 3. Let's take a look at our screenshot. Between 1 and 2 horizontally and between 1 and 3 vertically. It is between 1 and 2 horizontally, first column, and between 1 and 3 vertically. So it's take the whole first column. Really simple. And since some of our customers ask how they can make vertical text as well, it's very simple, and I did not invent this code. I just Googled how to make vertical CSS, and these are 2 lines of code that will make your text vertical. You can scale -1 means 90 degrees. We can also make it 90 degrees. It's counter. -1 means 90 degrees counterclockwise. If you change it to, for instance, to clockwise, it should change the direction of the text. I'm not sure which one is better because it's not readable anyway, but since someone needed it, we need to know how to do that. So I reload the page, and if I make it smaller, yeah, it should change the direction this way. It's pretty simple. The same, if you take a look at CSS of company name, we can see that I will copy it again from here, company name. The point is you don't need to invent this code. It's you can use code from the article as a template. You just plug in your field names, case sensitive, I assume, and you specify that column starts at point number 2, ends at point number 3, and the same for row, starts at row number 1, ends before row number 2. I'm also adding a little bit of padding so fields do not overlap and giving a little bit of space to each other. And the same idea applies to all other fields. You just specify where in CSS grid it will be placed. So you just specify this kind of CSS code for all your fields: contact name, country, address. Only those fields that you want to see in the mobile mode. All other fields will not be seen here. And this is pretty much it. Let me just remove the checkbox. Does it make sense? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, let me remove checkbox. We don't want it. Delete, remove. And let's just work on something else that is also CSS related. Okay, let me reload the page. I just trying to get rid of a checkbox. That doesn't make this page look good. Yeah, much better now. So that's the idea. We wrote the code that creates CSS grid. We placed our customer ID field into first cell, and the rest of fields go into other cells. We also made customer ID vertical.